Hi, it's Katrina! From saving stolen cats about to go to slaughter to daring international missions to get whales out of cages, here are 8 times compassionate people performed some amazing animal rescues. Number 8. 375 cats saved from Slaughterhouse. In Tianjin, China, last December, a heartbroken young man contacted China Animal Protection Power, or CAPP, an animal rescue organization that was formed with help from Humane Society International. His cat had disappeared, and he suspected that it was stolen for China's cat meat trade. Following the man's tip-off, members from the organization discovered an illegal slaughterhouse containing 375 cats crammed into 24 wire cages. Many were sick and emaciated. The building was surrounded by cat hair, most likely belonging to the thousands of cats who were killed there. CAPP had long suspected the presence of a nearby slaughterhouse, but were unable to pinpoint the location until receiving the heroic young man's tip. His cat had disappeared 2 weeks prior, and in an effort to locate his beloved feline, he discovered the cruel operation. Cat and dog theft is a big problem in China, according to Peter Lee, China policy specialist at HSI. While most Chinese people do not eat cat or dog meat, the market demand is there, and every year an estimated 4 million cats are killed for this purpose. Many of them are snatched from people's homes by thieves. Luckily, in this instance, all 375 of the cats were rescued and placed in foster homes as activists sought permanent placement for them. Meanwhile, animal advocates throughout China placed over 1,000 phone calls to Tianjin police, urging them to shut down the operation. Number 7. Rangila. Dancing bears are typically captured as cubs or born into captivity. They're trained to dance using cruel methods, such as having a searing hot rod pierced through their nose and a chain attached to the piercing so the trainer can have maximum control of the animal. There is no practical reason for dancing bears. They're used for entertaining crowds in the streets. Thankfully, this cruel exploitation of bears has dwindled in popularity since the late 20th century. While the practice continues in Pakistan, most countries are believed to no longer have dancing bears, or it has been declared illegal. In late 2017, the last 2 known dancing bears in Nepal, named Rangila and Sridevi, were freed by World Animal Protection and the Jane Goodall Institute. The original plan was to relocate the bears to the Agra Bear Rescue Center, a wildlife SOS-run sanctuary in Agra, India. Unfortunately, due to the last-minute intervention of the Nepalese government, the bears were rerouted to a substandard zoo within the country. Once there, they were placed in tiny cages and put on display for the public. Sridevi tragically passed away from the stress. After doing forced performances for over 20 years, Rangila was alone, and his prospects of freedom were now uncertain. In the aftermath of Sridevi's death, he paced frantically in his cage, and people noticed. In August 2018, after widespread outcry and seemingly endless bureaucratic red tape, the Nepalese government finally permitted Rangila's transfer to safety as originally planned. Rangila's journey from the zoo to the Agra Bear Rescue Center took 30 hours total. He faces a long road of recovery from the trauma and stress he's been through. After many years, he is finally safe. While he heals, he rescues top-notch care, befriends other bears, and can do what he's supposed to do, simply be a bear. On another happy note, after the devastating earthquake that hit Nepal in 2015, a baby bear along with many other animals were rescued by relief organizations including Animal Welfare Network and the Humane Society International. There are still good people out there putting their own lives at risk to help save animals. Number 6. Vacationing couple rescues stray puppies. Belen and Tristan are cycling enthusiasts from the Netherlands who had long dreamed of riding down the Pamir Highway through Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. Intent on fulfilling their shared goal, the couple set out on the Pamir Highway in July of 2018. They made an unplanned stop along the side of the road in Tajikistan, about 100 kilometers outside the capital city of Dushanbe, when they discovered 2 scared, homeless puppies. No one else seemed to care, and helping the puppies became their priority. The couple put their vacation on hold. They convinced a truck driver to drive them and the dogs to Dushanbe. The ride was bumpy, hot, and extremely uncomfortable, according to Tristan. Once the couple arrived at their destination, they appealed to their Instagram followers for donations toward a flight back to the Netherlands for both themselves and the puppies. An anonymous Dutch woman sent Belen and Tristan 1,000 euros. The pups, who were named Mocha and Latte, adjusted quickly to their new surroundings. Mocha found a loving forever home with a family in The Hague, and Tristan's mom adopted Latte. The next time you experience a slight inconvenience during your travels, remember this admirable couple who put one of their biggest dreams on the back burner to rescue helpless stray puppies. And now for number 5. But first, be sure to share any animal rescue stories you have in the comments below. What would you do in these situations? Number 5. Rafah Zoo Rescue. In April of this year, over 40 animals were rescued from the Rafah Zoo in war-torn Gaza by the animal welfare organization Puppies International. As the war went on, the Rafah Zoo became known as a zoo of horrors due to its appalling and ever-worsening conditions. During difficult times for humans, it is easy to forget about animals. The cages were too small for the animals, several of which passed away in the months leading up to the rescue. In January, 4 lion cubs froze to death. Not long after, 2 lions were brutally declawed so the few remaining visitors could safely take selfies with them. A porcupine died of unknown causes, and 1 monkey killed another. Fathi Joma, the zoo's keeper, knew that surrendering the animals to rescuers was the right thing to do. The decision was emotionally difficult for Joma, who'd had some of the animals for 20 years, but he wanted the best for them, and economic hardship left him with no choice. Because of border closures and escalating violence, the rescue was delayed several times. After months of preparation and waiting, a team of veterinarians and wildlife experts finally evacuated the zoo's surviving animals. Among those rescued were lions, monkeys, ostriches, peacocks, wolves, porcupines, foxes, exotic birds, and a hyena. The lions were transported to Lions Rock, a big cat sanctuary in South Africa. Following a 190-mile journey into Jordan, the rest of the animals were relocated to species-appropriate sanctuaries in the country. So far, Puppies International has evacuated 3 zoos in Gaza. There are 2 more zoos in the Gaza Strip awaiting rescue, and the organization is determined to get them out. Number 4. Cheeto the Dog. After residents of Wamba, Texas, first noticed a dog with a plastic cheese puff container stuck on his head in June 2017, it took 3 weeks and dozens of rescuers to catch him. During the lengthy, hot, and humid search, one rescuer was even bitten by a copperhead snake. The dog, who was named Cheeto in reference to his predicament, was eventually captured by a quick-thinking local animal advocate named Greg King, who sprang into action the moment he spotted the canine. King did everything in his power to rescue Cheeto, even using traps and cameras and spending 3 nights in the woods searching for him. He knew Cheeto would eventually suffocate to death if he wasn't rescued, and as an animal lover, King couldn't bear the thought. Finally, his efforts to seize the scared dog paid off. The rescue crew was surprised to learn that Cheeto had 3 puppies in tow, who they named Oreo, Pringle, and Dorito. Cheeto fortunately survived his ordeal and was expected to make a full recovery. Meanwhile, the puppies quickly found forever homes. As Cheeto waited for the right family, he received gifts from fans all over the world. One family grew especially attached to Cheeto after taking him home for one night to see if they were compatible. The rest is history. Number 3. 110 dogs saved from overcrowded shelters. In February of 2018, animal rescue organizations collaborated in a major effort to rescue over 100 dogs from shelters in Oklahoma. The state is known for its lack of shelters and overpopulation of strays, often tragically leading to euthanasia as a way to deal with the overcrowding. 70 of the dogs were taken in by the Oregon Humane Society, which is the largest humane society in the Northwest. OHS has a program for rescuing animals destined for euthanasia called Second Chance. The dogs were transported there by an organization called Fetch Fido a Flight, which specializes in moving animals in need around the country. 62 of the canines found forever homes within a week of arriving at OHS, amounting to a worthwhile and successful rescue operation. In recent years, saving animals from jam-packed shelters has become a growing trend. 2 months after the OHS rescue, the Michigan Humane Society received 110 cats and dogs from Oklahoma shelters, where they faced euthanasia due to overcrowding. The animals were airlifted out by the nonprofit organization GreaterGood.org. In addition to overcrowding and a lack of resources, natural disasters such as flooding and tornadoes burden animal shelters throughout Oklahoma. Earlier this year, the Humane Society of the United States removed around 130 dogs and cats from Oklahoma shelters that were affected by natural disasters and relocated them to various shelters in Virginia and Maryland. The city of Tulsa is currently making efforts to update its central shelter and transition it into a no-kill facility, and organizations such as the Tulsa Animal Welfare League are working with outside agencies to rehome as many animals as possible. Number 2. Uber for birds. One Saturday night in late June, Uber driver Christy Gwynn was summoned to a residence in Ogden, Utah. Upon arriving, she noticed a group of men with beers in their hands and prepared to tell them that they couldn't bring their drinks in the car. To Gwyn's surprise, none of the men needed a ride. Tim Crowley, the man who had ordered the car, approached the passenger side window and explained that they had an injured baby lesser goldfinch who needed to be taken to the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center of northern Utah. The men had witnessed the bird fall from a tree, but were drinking and were therefore in no condition to drive the bird to the center themselves. The first Uber driver Crowley requested canceled the ride when they learned that their passenger was a bird. Gwyn, however, was happy to complete the task. After all, Crowley was a paying customer, so why not? Following the delivery of the bird to the center, Crowley and his friends received widespread praise on social media and in the news for their kind-hearted and safety-conscious rescue. Not only did they save the life of an ailing animal, they avoided putting other lives on the line by staying off the road after drinking. Rescue responsibly, people. Number 1. Orcas released from whale jail. In late 2018, disturbing images of around 100 orcas and beluga whales in cramped enclosures were leaked online. The animals were being held illegally off Russia's Pacific coast in tiny pens dubbed the whale jail. Following activist outcry, an investigation was opened by Russian authorities. Those responsible for imprisoning the whales planned on selling them to China's booming marine park industry for millions of dollars per animal. 4 companies were ultimately charged with violating a worldwide ban on whale hunting that went into effect in 1982. In addition to breaking international law, the culprits put the animals' lives at risk. Although belugas and orcas can survive in Arctic temperatures, they must swim long distances to stay warm. With each passing day they spent confined in the tiny, overcrowded prison, the whales became more likely to die. In March, Russian authorities announced that they would return the whales to their natural environment after figuring out how to do so safely. The following month, an agreement for the release of the whales was signed between Russian officials and international scientists. The first group of whales was transported to the Sea of Okhotsk in late June. Along the 6-day journey back to their native waters, they were accompanied by a team of 70 experts, including veterinarians and scientists. All 100 whales will be released by October, according to Russian Deputy Prime Minister Alexei Gordeyev. Thanks for watching! Weren't these rescues amazing? There are some good people out there. Let us know any rescue stories you have in the comments below, and remember to subscribe if you're new here. See you next time. Bye!